Hi friends, here I am in my home kitchen studio, and I want to tell you a little bit about where we're going to go with our very next food lab. And before we talk about where we're going with our food lab, let's talk about where we have been so far. All of our labs were produced and planned with the primary thought of what are those pantry staples that everybody has already in their kitchen. Because remember, this is a really unique time in history where we need to try as best possible to not make any special trips to the grocery store. Therefore, the labs that I've presented to you have been made primarily with staple ingredients. Nothing is really an unusual or weird ingredient, and many of these staple ingredients, if you don't have the exact thing, you can sometimes substitute something else. That's what a lot of cooking is anyways, in reality. So anyways, where have we been? Well, we did a blender drink, then we did rice and beans, which is, God, one of the best things that you could learn how to make is a rice and bean dish that you really like, because number one, it's super cheap. Number two, serves a lot of people. Number three, if you have leftovers, it's easy to figure out something to do with it. A lot of you made quesadillas and loved the quesadillas. 4, it's nutritious. It's really nutritious. The rice and beans, anything that has beans in it is going to be really nutritious. The rice was a brown rice, so as you know, that has lots of really wonderful fiber, which all Americans need to have more in their diet. This week it was a soup, and I gave you 2 different recipes, and they both had beans in them, which of course, as you know, cheap, inexpensive protein and fiber. So next week we're going to use an ingredient that's going to be our focus ingredient that many of you told me that you have in your pantry right now, and that is tuna. And I tell you what, as you can see, this is one that I did not have to go to the store and get special, because I always have lots of tuna in my pantry because I like it for the protein. With a small amount of something, this is just one of these little packs that you can get at the store. This one pouch has 17 grams of protein. It's cheap. It's like less than $1 if you buy it on sale, or at $1 if you buy it on sale. It's healthy, and talk about nutrients. Oh my gosh. So tuna is well known for the omega-3 fatty acids, which are super good for your brain health, if you remember that lesson on nutrients that we did. Also for your heart, and it's an excellent, those omega-3s are fatty acids are excellent nutrient, good fat. Also high in protein. They also have an unbelievably high amount of vitamin B12, which is really good for your energy, and selenium, which is a really good mineral to have. They have 90% of your daily need of selenium is in just this one packet. As well, 50% of your daily needs of niacin, 25% of your daily need of protein is in one serving. So that's really spectacular. And it's cheap, and most people think it tastes good. That's why we all have it in our pantries. All right, so what am I going to do with this? I want to talk to you about a different kind of meal that we've not done so far, and that is the thing where you put together ingredients and put it in a dish, and then you put it in the oven and you bake it. So most people commonly call that kind of dish a casserole, and It generally has some kind of protein. It has some kind of whole of grain, and of course we're going to use a whole grain. And it has something that binds it all together, some kind of, you know, for lack of a better term, some kind of glue that's going to make it all stick together. And then most of us kind of like something a little crunchy on top. All right? Here's the ingredients that we're going to use for this. Tuna, obviously. In the next slides, I'll explain the details. You can get it in the bags, you can get it in the cans. All right? Our binding agent that's going to hold it all together is going to be tomato soup, cream of tomato soup. And of course, you know what kind we're going to get. We're going to get the kind that is heart healthy, that's lower in sodium. We're also, the pasta that this recipe calls for is the kind that have those little twisty shapes. And guess what? I don't have enough of those. So I'm going to combine my twisty shapes with some of my other shapes of pasta that I have. I have those kinds that are shaped like elbows. I have this kind, Italian, it's kind of like little tubes, ziti. And then I also have penne, which is like little tubes that have ridges on them. So I'll combine them and I'll explain that to you as I do it. But we also want something for color because we eat with our eyes as well. So we're gonna have some frozen peas in this. And I can tell you right now, I know that I do not have enough frozen peas in this little package here. So I'll look in my basement freezer if I don't have enough down there. What am I gonna do? I'm gonna substitute another vegetable, just like we've been doing all along, right? And what about that crunchy top? Oh, there's another binding agent. I forgot to tell you. Our favorite thing here is cheese. This time I'm gonna use mozzarella cheese. Well, here's the thing, friends. If you're vegan, you're not gonna use mozzarella cheese. You've probably already got some kind of cheese-like substance around. So between the cheese and the soup, that's what's gonna bind our ingredients together. The tuna is going to be our protein. We're going to have our whole grains with our pasta and our crunchy stuff on top. This is our secret ingredient. All right. Now, if you do not have plain cornflakes, you can't use frosted flakes. It won't work. You can't use anything that is sweetened. And most cereals are sweetened. But you could use breadcrumbs. If you have stale bread, you can crush it up and make breadcrumbs. You could use panko breadcrumbs if you have that. You could use a few other things. And I will explain that as I go. In my presentation that you'll see on Monday. And I'll also explain a few ideas in the slides that will follow. All right?